Greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well today. Well, today I've got the subscriber call Q&A with Victor. And I got quite a bit of phone numbers I compiled. I'm not taking any more numbers. I have enough right now. I may take more later on. But we got to about 7 people today, and don't worry if you didn't get chosen today. We will, I will send you a text or call you, and if you're available to do the show, you are, and if you're not, you're not. But tonight I've got 7 subscribers who were. Before that, the links. As you know, I rely on my Patreon, my PayPal, and my merch to help this channel to continue to grow and go. All those links are in the description below. I also have a second channel, Creepypasta, Fanfiction, and Scary Voice Acting. Stories that, well, they just don't fit on this channel. Now, if that's anything that you're into, follow that link and give those stories a listen. You may just like what you hear. Now, I've taken enough of your time. Let's get on with today's upload. Shall we? All right, everybody. Today, our first Q&A with Victor live calls is with our friend Jane. Jane, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing, Jeff?
Very good, very good. Victor, how are you?
I'm good.
Okay, Jane, you have 15 minutes or 3 questions for Victor, so please start.
All right, thank you. Victor, my first question is, I was outside one night with my little dog, Lou, at the time when I still had him, and I heard a clicking noise. And by clicking, I mean like the metal clickers we used to play with when we were little. This was only about 100 feet away from me. And it went click, 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 click.
Yes.
I've never heard.
Bigfoot is known to do this.
Bigfoot?
Yes, they're known to mimic it very well with their mouth. I've heard them do it numerous times. Actually seen them do it on a couple occasions. Watched them with their lips do it, and they can do it very loudly. They can be, like you said, 100, 150 foot away and make you hear that. And it sounds just like the little metal button pins that we used to click with our thumbs as children. And it sounds just like them. But that's something that the Bigfoot do.
Okay, well, I'm not surprised it's Bigfoot because I do have activity here.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I have a couple of trees that are bent over, like about 15 feet up maybe.
Yeah.
Twisted and bent over. There's 2 of them. And I've had other, different things happen on the property.
Okay.
We've heard tree knocking and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, my next question is, do you think, now I know with reptilians, they are attracted to a certain blood type. Do you think any of the big 3, would we give off a scent if we were like an RH negative or an AB or something that was different? Would they be attracted to that, or do some of them just not care?
As far as for tracking us or hunting us they're not attracted to any certain blood type. They're not. Okay. We hadn't put nothing into them. For the military portion of them, there's nothing been altered. So there's nothing there that would draw them to a certain blood type. And
so people wouldn't give off a specific scent? say RH negative, or if they were, they have nothing to do with that.
No, none of the big three.
Okay, the big three. My other question is, being part Native American, I'm not as full-blooded Jeff, but my grandfather used to tell me when you went out into the woods, and he was a hunter, he had to hunt for food, he said you have to go with a good heart and good intention, and many times you have to state that. Is that something, like if you go out into the woods, because I do this, having had the activity we've had on this property, I definitely, because we have a brook and a river that go right through our property, and I think it's a pretty busy highway. So do you think that's something that they pick up on, or they, again, it's just not a thing it's in tune to different types of creatures?
I think that they're in tune with it, and they know if you've got a good heart. I know that 2 of the 3 would pick up on it. I think all 3 would pick up on it. I think 2 of the 3 would be more apt to honor it than the 3rd.
You mean Dogman, right?
Yeah. That being the 3rd. The Bigfoot would really be more honorable of it than even the werewolf. The werewolf would be second most honorable. But yes, they would pick up on your aurora, so to say.
Uh-huh.
And that anybody that gives off good intentions, they pick up on it. You know, when I go out there, they know my intentions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's most of the time it's not good. Or all the time when I go out there, it's not good. So.
And God bless you for that, I'll tell you.
And it's just a bad situation for me. But yeah, they do pick up on what your intentions are and how you're gonna be reacting to it, gang.
Okay, because I know
that'll help a whole lot.
Uh-huh.
Of 2 of the 3.
Okay, I kind of thought the 2 of the 3 would be the one, because before I go over the little bridge, I always kind of say, I'm coming over to where our fire pit is, and I have a good heart, I mean no harm, and I'm pretty sure we have a werewolf periodically through the property. My uncle saw one years ago, and it was a werewolf. It was not a Dogman. Because I think if it was a Dogman, it would have been a different situation, and he wouldn't be here. But those are basically my questions. I think that's probably it. I think that's probably it.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How did he describe the werewolf that came through years ago?
A very typical, when I was growing up, we had, the big monsters, werewolf, Frankenstein, all of those. I'm 65. And the werewolf was just how we would envision it. No tail, kind of a fluffy body, but stood upright like a man with more human legs. The face was a shorter muzzle, much, much shorter than it would be on, say, the Dogman. And I believe that it was a dark gray. But he really, and this is not from the uncle who saw it, this is from the other uncle who told me that my uncle really didn't want to talk about it. And after that, he would no longer watch any of the werewolf movies or ever even talk about them. And he was big into it before that. So I believe I guess if you have one, you might have more, but are they usually solitary?
They're they're either solitary. Well, the males will hunt. They'll hunt solitary for the females, and they're usually one male and two females together.
Uh-huh.
And they, like I said, there's usually 3 in a group of them. One male, 2 females, or one male and one female. Never more than 3. And you might see 2 males pass by one another, and they won't fight as long as they're passing. But if they try to stay in the same territory, if one's got his territory, he won't let another male in unless they fight over it. And you'll know if they fight over it. You'll hear them. You'll hear them for 5 or 6 miles if they fight over it. So you would know.
I know last night we had a lot of activity. I was thinking there's been nothing for so long. And last night I heard massive coyote activity. We actually went out on the back porch to listen. But there was another sound with that. This is another thing I was going to include with when I talked to Jeff. But the coyotes have a very distinct, like each one sounds different, and they all have their kind of a song that they do. But there was another sound in there. I thought that they perhaps caught something, and this is how they were doing the yipping and the howling and the greeting and all that. But there was something else in there that sounded. Now, would a dogman or a werewolf push the coyotes or no?
Yes, they would.
They would. Okay.
Yeah.
Real quick interjection, guys. Ironically enough, another subscriber who I chose for tonight's upload, she as well had a lot of activity around her home last night, and she lives in Georgia, and she sent me a recording of it. I'm trying to figure out a way of using that file on tonight's video as well, but I thought it was coincidental. We're at about 11 minutes, guys, so we got about 4 more minutes, okay?
What state are you in, Jane?
I'm in Connecticut. I'm in Monroe, Connecticut.
Monroe?
Huh?
Okay, Monroe, Connecticut. What county?
Fairfield.
What county?
Fairfield County.
Fairfield? Okay, hold on just a second. I'm going to tell you something to help you out.
Well, thank you, Victor.
Okay. Fairfield, F-A-I-R.
I appreciate that.
I'm looking right now. I'm giving you the whole county, okay?
Thank you.
This is for you, Jane.
Oh.
You've got pulling up. It's being slow for some reason. Most of the time it's instant. Okay, here we go. You've got 14 dogmen in your county right now.
No way.
Yeah, way. And you've got 4 werewolves in your county right now.
I knew it.
And they are, now it's, they're nomadic and they move all the time. So that number's going to change.
Okay.
But you do. That's what you have right now in your county.
Is it something when they're around, can people feel that? Because I get a lot of pressure in my chest sometimes outside. I'm compelled to just go in the house.
That could be. Some people sense that. Some people won't. Some people are more in tune with them than other folks. And more people are in tune with the werewolves than any of them.
Uh-huh.
They're more in tune with the werewolves than any of them.
Wow. Yeah, I used to take care of 2 wolves. They were gray wolves. I was a veterinary nurse for a long time, and a client had them, and he
Oh,
wasn't
wow.
raising them right. He wasn't raising them right at all.
Uh-oh.
And these poor things, they just were suffering. So
Yeah.
I brought them to the hospital, and I would just sit with them quietly, and it was beautiful. It was just awesome. And they went to a great zoo, actually, but I was not happy with the client. But Victor, I'm so happy. Thank you so very much.
Well, I'm glad I got to talk to you. And,
I am too. I hope we can talk again.
Me too. Hope
you
so.
Thank you so much. I appreciate everything you do. God knows. I hope the angels are watching over you, protecting you and your crew.
Yeah, they are.
All right. Thank you, Jane, for the call, and I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Jeff.
All right, guys, and tonight's second caller is going to be John Sumner. John, how are you?
Doing good.
Welcome to the channel, and thank you for coming on tonight. Victor?
Yes.
All right. John's got some questions for you. We got about 15 minutes, guys. If at 10 minutes, I will let you know. And then at 15 minutes, we are going to have to cut the call because we have more callers after. All right?
Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. What you got, John?
Okay, first questions. Did the Nazi scientists that were brought over here from to the United States under the Operation Paperclip, that were biology and bioengineer scientists, did they help create the breeding programs for the werewolves and the Dogman for our government under Black Ops?
No, they did not. They was not involved in it at all.
Okay. All right, and the second one, do you think that Bigfoot type creatures are, physically bigger in like Canada and Alaska because of the vast, forage and the bigger wildlife and more abundance and less contact with humans?
That's a good possibility. They have a bigger selection of foods that they can get to abundantly there, and they've got more space to roam freely where they are not as apt to be seen, so they can more free to roam, more free to food, and that's a good observation. We've always said that they've had more food supply there, and they tend to be bigger on account of that. They talk about the giants up there. Some say it's an offspring of the Bigfoot. Some think it's the Kandahar giants. Well, we gotta get one first, so we can find out which way it goes. But I'm kind of inclined to believe that the Bigfoot is larger up there on account of the diet. It's my belief, and most people in general believe that it gets bigger on account of the diet, vegetation, and food.
Okay. See, I watch a lot of the, they got a show, it's like Mysteries of, in Alaska.
Yeah.
And they've talked about the, there's like, they keep speculating that there's like a tribe of giants that actually like moved up in there, and they reason why no one's seen them is because basically the same thing. There's like a vast forest, and they would like human contact, and that's why they would survive up there.
Yeah. There's still areas people hadn't seen. It may have been flown across. There may be areas that's been flown across in Alaska, in the wilderness part, tundrous part, but there's areas that man hadn't been there. Now you get up in the icy part of it, and you would be able to see people there, or see Bigfoot there. But in the tundrous areas and the timber part of Alaska, no, you ain't gonna see him. And there's parts of that man hadn't walked there yet. And people could hide there. Bigfoot could hide there. We've got one in Virginia that stays on 7 acres of land. And pretty well known fact that he stays in that 7 acres. And he's 2 miles out of a town. And I mean,
that's mostly because he's like territorial.
Yeah, he just kind of stays in that 7 acres, and he'll range out and get him food. And he'll come back to that 7 acres. He don't bother nobody. We've been called several times on him, but he ain't bothering nobody. He's just there. And we moved him twice. We tranquilized him and took him out of there twice. And he got back to the same place. So we hadn't moved since.
It'd be kind of like evening coming back home. Basically.
Coming back home, yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And go ahead, sir.
Go ahead.
Well, my third and last question. Since you said that you're going to retire, do you think the government might use the Dogman or the werewolves on its own people after you leave?
Well, I pray, sir, that they don't. Yeah.
Because I was in the military and I know how well they cover stuff up, and it's like, maybe, when you retire, they'd be like, okay, he's out of the picture, and now we can pretty much do what we want with him.
Yeah. I'm having a hard time making up my mind. I don't want to work under the incoming administration, because just sure as world, if they used to give me that order, I'd say no, and I'd ruin my career.
That's quite understandable. I don't blame you a bit, though.
I got 42 years in right now. And, it would be hard to ruin that over one order, but I just can't see. I can't understand why the government would use them on the American people. But this is me speaking, John. This is me, okay? This is Victor.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the general. The incoming administration, I wouldn't trust to do anything.
No. I've read too many things about them.
I've been in military just about as long as he's been in office, so he's not a trusted person. And I've seen it. I've been there.
And
so
my site manager, he's from California, and he told me all the bad things that his vice president's done when she was a judge, and it's like, wow,
All right, we're
Now
at
we're
10
gonna-
minutes, guys, and can we not be on the political thing?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry. But,
Yes. But
no, that's. I'll go ahead.
go ahead with yours.
You got about one more question if you want, John.
Yeah, ask me.
Dang it. My mind just went blank. Sorry.
Where are you at, John?
I'm in Rogers, Arkansas, and we have this place called Lake Atlanta, and I swear at times there's like the signs that Bigfoot's been in there, like with the branches being leaned over and making like a cross and stuff like that. You know, how they make their deals.
Yeah.
Kind of like a hut.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And it's like, well, hey, you never know.
That's right.
There's,
They can be anywhere.
and I know down in our national forest, you know, like down by Little Rock and all through there, that they've had like several sightings of Bigfoot down through there.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you, for you, Rogers is in what county?
Benton.
Benton, yeah. I'm going to tell you how many dogmen and werewolves you got in your county. I'm pulling it up now. That way you'll have a general idea. Okay, all right. Right now, at present, you've got 14 dogmen and 9 werewolves roaming your county.
See out where my son lives, it's like Avoca, and he like lives way out in the woods. I mean, and every time I've gone out there at night, I just get this like real uneasy feeling. Like it's like, okay, is there something around here that I'm not supposed to know about? Or
Oh wow! Well, you might be in tune to them, but that's how many's across the whole county. So
okay,
that's about
since I live in
normal spread out of them.
Since I live in town, I really shouldn't have to worry, though.
Well, that don't always happen, right? Does it, Jim?
Not really. Nope.
No. Sometimes during the spring and summertime, I leave our windows open, and a lot of times I'll often imagine, like, okay, what if I have the window open, and I'm at my computer, and I turn towards the window, and there's like these eyes looking at me. I'll be like, oh.
Well, it can happen, John. Atlanta, Georgia. I've been to St. Louis, Missouri, and I've been to just about every big city in the nation and removed them. Big cities.
All right, we're coming up in about 30 seconds, guys.
Okay. John, it's been nice to talk to you, sir.
And nice talking to you. I told Jeff that, like, hopefully someday we can all three get together and just, like, have a BS session about everything and anything.
All right.
All right, everybody. Tonight's third question is from our friend Janice. Janice, how are you?
Oh, doing great, Jeff. And it's wonderful to be with you and Victor and our subscribers today.
All right. I'm glad that you're here. Victor.
Yes, I'm here.
Janice has got some questions for you, buddy.
Okay.
Before I get into the questions, Victor, I just wanted to give a real quick overview of my background. so you understand more about why I'm asking you these questions. I'm an Air Force Special Operations veteran, having spent more than half of my military career as a strategic planner and weapons systems planner. And we analyze missions and capabilities and try to figure out what the best solutions are, especially for our teams. That was my primary weapon system, and especially when it came to solving some of the problems that they were encountering. So it's with that background that I'm drawing the following questions for you. How long does it take to train a pack of wolfmen for a mission? And are they all trained on the same tactics, or do elements within the pack train on different tactics to use when employed?
We train approximately 12 weeks, same as basically basic training. And they are trained in specifics for that 12 weeks. What a Marine would go through in his hand-to-hand combat training is the basic deployment of what these wolves is trained in. But they are so much faster and so much stronger, and they learn so much faster that after 12 weeks, they are beyond anything you've ever seen. It's just
so
hard to recognize.
Is the training done one-on-one, or are they trained in smaller groups before they form the pack?
Smaller groups, six to a group, with one person training. And then when they go into the field, they have what's called a handler. If they ever go on a mission, they've got what's called a handler. And that handler handles 10. And them 10 rely on him. And they follow and do what he says. And
right.
They go from there. And they got their specifics that they're trained in. And last month we went on a mission and took 48 and went to Africa and retrieved a American that was being held captive and brought him home. And somebody else gets the recognition.
Right.
And we get we got nothing. But that's all fair and well, because there wasn't no American lives lost.
That's right.
And they suffered heavy casualties. 288.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yep.
How long did it take? How long was the operation?
From the time we hit the ground?
Yes.
Well, we stayed on the ground for 7 days. And then I was on the phone with Jeff, or I just got off the phone with Jeff, when I got the orders to go, move. And I had to get off the phone, or I had just got off the phone with Jeff and had to go. And when we got on the helicopters, we got off the helicopters. 38 minutes later, we was loading back up.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and they done that much damage in that little time. Myself and 4 more handlers was on the ground with 48 of them.
Wow. How are they, if you don't mind me asking, how are they loaded into the helicopters? Are they They walk on. Okay.
Yeah, they'll walk on. They'll walk off. They'll jump at it if I tell them to.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Wow.
They're they're capable.
Really, you have actually done training with them where they parachute?
Yes.
Static line?
Yep.
Boy, it just gets more interesting and more interesting with each time you
They can do just about. We've never put weapons in their hands. Guns, we've never put them in their hands. Never. But as far as an infantry soldier, they can do anything he can do. Anything a foot soldier can do.
You know what's interesting to me, Janice, is that during the whole, first 3 months of Victor and I talking, not only did I not know his name was Victor, but William, that I thought
that had to be.
Yeah, I know. I thought that whole program was that he was just hunting these creatures down, that these creatures were, used, some were used to defend American soil, not realizing that they were going on missions. Because one night Victor was talking to me and he's like, I went to Africa or, this and that. And I was like, but I thought you didn't hunt the cryptids outside. He goes, I didn't. He goes, I didn't say we were on a hunt. He said we were on a mission. And I was like, what the hell? So shocked me completely. Sorry to interrupt your questions.
See, I've been doing out-of-country missions for 15 years, probably. One a month, usually.
So when Victor, when you do that, okay, before you train, when you're in training mode to be deployed to another part of the world, do the wolfmen have to go through an acclimatization process? Because you could be entering an environment that they may not be accustomed to.
Well, so far I haven't found a climate that they're not adjusted to fairly quickly. We try to train in an environment we're going to be close to. We've got places set up so we can go there and train.
Roger that.
Here in the States, we get as close to the type of climate that we're going into as we can get.
Okay.
And try to train in that climate anyway, and go from there.
Sure. Another question, just regarding training: are females used on the missions? Do they train with the rest of the pack at all?
We have. Most of the time, though, we choose some males. And we've got a select group that we keep in one certain location, or they choose to stay in that one certain location. We don't make them stay there, but they chose to stay there. When I was making that run to get away from them people that day, that's where I was headed and just didn't have the stamina to get there.
Yeah.
I was about 2 miles from them when everything went down, and they heard it going on, but they stayed put because they didn't know what was. They know it happens, but they didn't come.
Why did they choose to stay there?
Because it's a huge place. It's concealed very well, and there's plenty of food. There's elk, there's buffalo, there's deer, just a wonderful spot.
Okay. So I'll go to my next question. Is there a pecking order within the employment pack with an alpha that is in charge and all the wolfmen who are, and who is the alpha if there is one that occupies that position?
Yes, there's an alpha. There's an alpha in that group. There's an alpha. In most groups, there's a single male with 2 females, or 1 female on the outside. That's how they usually run, is 1 male and 2 females, or 1 male and a female with the werewolves. Dogman, they might run in 1 to 250 in a pack. It's got bad with them. Bigfoot's got a pod. They're like a family. It might be a male, female, and 3 or 4 youngs. But it could be 2 or 3 families in one group in a pod there. But there's an alpha male to that group. So.
Okay. So do the handlers, do they deal directly with the alphas, or do they handle?
Yes.
Okay.
They'll deal directly with the alpha.
12 minutes, 30 seconds, guys.
Okay. You mentioned the op in Africa. Was your unit somehow integrated with any special mission units that became aware of the capability you brought to the table?
We was solely there by ourselves.
Okay.
So
no one else knew?
Nobody else knew, but another unit got the praise for the rescue when they told all about it when they got back. The number 6 SEAL team got praise for the rescue when they got back.
Yeah, I remember that.
But they wasn't even on the ground. Where are you at, Janice? Where are you at?
I live in Washougal, Washington. But I spent most of my Clark County.
Clark County?
Right.
I'm going to tell you how many dogmen and werewolves you got. How many do you think you got?
In Clark County, 25, 30.
Yeah. You got 7 dogmen.
Oh, good. Okay. And most of them must be up north. That seems to be where, like, I've read other encounters that happened up north.
Yeah. 9 werewolves.
9 werewolves. Victor, I've never had an encounter with cryptids, but I really wanted to learn as much as I could, from Jeff and you about, having enough SA so that, I can talk to others about the best ways to protect yourself from really any animal, especially predators. And I want to thank you for everything that you've done for us in this little community. And Jeff, it's been outstanding. And I salute you for everything that you've done for the nation, and you keep on doing.
Well, I thank you for your service, and you just keep getting out there in the wild, enjoying it. The chances of the chances of an encounter are slim, and people's got to remember that.
All right, guys.
Right.
Janice,
right.
It was great having you on. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Janice.
Hey, you guys You guys have a great Thanksgiving, and same to all of our subscribers out there.
You as well.
Thank you. Bye.
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 All right, guys. Tonight we have our fourth caller. We have Sheila with us from the beautiful state of Georgia. Sheila, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very good, very good. And you've got some questions for our friend Victor.
I do.
Victor, how are you?
I'm great.
All right. She's got some questions for you. And like I said, not like I said to you, but prior, at about 12 minutes, 30 seconds, I will let you guys know, hey, you got about 2.5 minutes, and then to kind of slow it down on the answering questions, all right?
Okay.
All right. There you go, guys. Floor's yours.
Okay, Sheila, what you got for me?
I'd like to know how many of the big three are in my area, North Georgia.
Okay, I can't answer you for Bigfoot,
Uh-huh.
but I've looked it up for you. For you in Georgia, around your area, you've got 14 dogmen, 19 werewolves.
Wow.
Got quite a few.
Yes. Wow.
It comes down to the northeast corner of the county
Mm-hmm.
is where most of them are. So
Great.
quarter county, make it into a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Four parts in there in the upper portion of the northeast side.
Okay, great. That's me. Yeah.
Well,
Okay. I actually had a Bigfoot sighting. It's been about 2 years ago. It was 2:00 in the afternoon. I wasn't expecting that at all. I was with two men, my husband and a friend. And of course, I got away from them and was on top of a ridge by myself looking around. And I heard a noise. And that's the only reason I looked that way, that area, is because of the noise. And when I looked about 25 yards away, there he was behind a tree. And he moved to the left. And it was so funny because his shoulder was still on the right when he moved. So my question is, did he mean for me to see him?
That's a good question.
did he mean you to see him?
Because otherwise I would not have looked that way.
What kind of noise did he make?
It wasn't, oh my gosh, it wasn't like a whoop or anything like that. It was just like maybe something was thrown or something. Something got my attention, and I looked to my 4 o'clock, and there he was. I looked at him, he looked at me, and, a tree was in front of him.
So his head was out on one side, and he was looking at you, and his shoulder was out on the other side.
The right, because that's what stood up my mind is like, his shoulder's still on the other side of the tree.
And the noise that he made was something he done with his mouth, you think?
Maybe it could be, yes.
Well, if he made it with his mouth, I would say he was trying to get your attention.
Mm-hmm.
If he throwed something, you would have looked where it landed.
Okay, yeah.
You wouldn't have looked where he was. You'd looked where the noise came from, where it landed. So if he made that noise with his mouth, yeah, he was trying to get your attention. Definitely.
Okay, so I feel like he waited until I was, two guys wasn't with me, and boom.
That's possible.
Okay, and at no time I felt.
They do that. And they do that, especially with women.
Okay, I never felt threatened. I felt the adrenaline, but I never felt threatened.
Yeah. Did either of the men ever see him?
Do what? I'm sorry?
Did either of the men ever see him?
No, they didn't see him. Like I say, when I seen him, it was kind of like I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It's like it took a minute. Are you going to believe me or your lying eyes? Yeah. And I hollered for my husband, and he thought I found a track or something. And I got more like telling him to come on, and he did. And I pointed there, it was right there. So we went over there, and there was tracks there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was pretty excited about that, but I never felt scared.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut in real quick. Sheila, I'm gonna ask if you'd like to come on the show sometime and share that encounter with us.
Sure.
All right. Sounds good. We'll plan that after the call. All right.
Okay.
All right. Sorry.
And the third thing I'd like to know, and I've listened to I think most of your recordings with Jeff and everything, but in your opinion, are they more human or more animal?
I think they're still more animal than they are human. They've got a lot of human qualities, but they do a lot of unhuman acts. And the reason I say that's what I've seen over the years out of these creatures. And I guess that's a bad way to judge them, because I see the bad out of most of these creatures, is what I see. And that's probably an unfair way to judge them, but that's what I've got to go by, is what I see. And they're just some horrific creatures when it comes to actual meetings, getting up close and personal with a person.
Okay.
So, yeah.
You got about 8 more minutes if you want to ask a couple more questions.
Okay. Do you think that it will ever come out to the general public that they are real, that we have them, that, because people just think I'm nuts for believing them in the first place, but it's just like, I know what I saw.
Yeah. Well, you're not, let me tell you, they know they're real. The government knows they're real now. Our president has just signed an order for me to capture another male and 2 females to start the breeding program back with on them. So he knows they're real. We've had many presidents back in when my dad was in that seen the other ones before he died, and seen the female for two terms before they released the female. After, one of the females, the female that didn't get sick, they kept her for 2 presidents after the other female died before they released her. So yeah, I mean, there's all kind of people that know they're real. Presidents know that they're real.
Amazing.
So,
okay.
Science.
Do you they were here before us, so do you think they're, I keep thinking Nephilim, I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, they was put here before. They was God made them just like He made man. So yeah. They was here at the beginning of time, just like the Dogman, just like the werewolf, just like the Bigfoot. That's all here before beginning of time. It's all God's creations. In the breeding program, we didn't alter them. All we done was try to take a certain male with certain females and make the breeding better. Breed them with a better female, or take the female and put her with a better male. That's all we tried to do to get the breeding better. You know, we didn't put nothing in them but a chip. That's all we ever had to do. And all that chip's good for is to tell them a direct order to recall. And,
Wow.
you know, other than that, they've been trained in combat hand to hand. Not trained, they've been watched. They watched and learned. And they had the capability and the smarts to do that. And then there's release back. And they released the big release in 2008. The order was signed in 2007. The order didn't take place till 2008. And, you know, we released all of it back out onto the world.
Why?
Why? Because it was the executive order.
But I mean, wouldn't that put a lot of humans in danger with that many being released?
Well, at the time, they wasn't. At the time, the Dogman wasn't packing up, so there wasn't no danger from them. And the werewolves never presented any danger except when one goes rogue or the wild ones attack someone. Bigfoot, we didn't have any to release. So all we was having to watch was the Dogman and the werewolves. Dogman started packing up. We started having problems. We started taking care of the ones that's packing up. We was going out, we was killing off packs. But they got to packing up so fast. And we was down to 12 agents. And the boss man at the time wouldn't hire no more agents. You know, we was down to 12 agents and we're supposed to have 21. Well, 21 agents still wasn't enough. But he was too busy writing insurance policies on their lives behind their backs. So, you know, he was trying to collect that money.
Oh, yeah.
So he was all about that.
Great. Okay. Do you think any of these have any kind of supernatural abilities whatsoever?
I believe. I've had a Bigfoot in my sights before and it vanished. So.
Oh my goodness.
I think it has. I think that it's got some kind of something that. Now I ended up getting that Bigfoot, but I mean it. I truly had it in my crosshairs, and it was gone in a second. I mean, just before I could pull the trigger.
That explains a lot, because we've been camping and the footsteps were almost like, I mean, you could feel them, and then all of a sudden they would just stop, and you know, where did they go? What happened?
Yeah, where'd they go? Yeah. I've had a lot of people tell me that. I've been out on hunts and run into people and they say, well, you know, we heard this, you know, I'd say, ask them if they seen anything, you know, maybe tracking it. And they say, well, something came up to our tent last night and the ground just nearly shook.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, what? You know, because I didn't want to tell them what I was doing. And I get them to tell me the story, and they told me. And I said, well, what'd you do? And they said, well, we looked outside, and they said, there wasn't nothing there. I said, well, it had to be something there if it was shaking the ground that bad. They said, we looked. I said, there wasn't nothing there. And, you know, it just don't walk away and not shake the ground if you shook it coming up.
Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense to hear that, because it would just wake me up out of a dead sleep, and you just prepared to be grabbed or something, and it would just stop.
Got about 30 seconds, guys.
Okay. Well, Sheila, it's been good talking to you.
I am so happy to talk to you. You made my whole year. The 2020 is so much better now.
Well, maybe we'll get to do this again.
I hope so. Please take care of yourself.
Sheila, please don't hang up. Please don't hang up, but say goodbye to everybody, but don't hang up, because I want to set up all right.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, guys, today's fifth caller is our subscriber friend named Shane. Shane, how are you?
I'm doing fine, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for coming on. You've got some questions for Victor?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, Victor.
Yes.
All right, the floor is your guys's.
Okay, Shane, what you got for me tonight?
Okay, question one. I want to know, did the Sasquatch and the Dogman ever team up? And if so, have they ever attacked people together?
Now, you broke up just a little bit.
I'm sorry. Okay. How about now?
Okay, that's better.
All right. Question one. Did the Sasquatch and the Dogman ever team up? And if so, have they ever attacked people together?
No, you won't. A Sasquatch is very territorial, especially towards the Dogman. They just about even won't pass by one another without fighting. They will, but like I said, the Sasquatch is very territorial, especially towards the Dogman. You won't never see them pair up.
Okay. All right. Okay. And appreciate that. Question two, this contains the Sasquatch again. Have any of you, your agents or yourself, ever worked with a Sasquatch? Have they worked with you before?
No, not that we've never, since I've been in, there's never been one in the agency that we've had to work around. We've had to hunt them. I've hunted 58 of them since I've been in the agency. That's a little over one a year for me to hunt.
Yeah.
And, the other agents, there's other agents that hunt them also. And,
wow.
There's quite a few that's all mine's been killed. Most all the other agents is killed. What they've hunted too. So we've probably over the years killed. Since I've been in there, we've probably killed 700 or 800 of them.
That's a lot. That's a lot of Sasquatch. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just a few. It's numerous ones that we've killed. I've been in there 42 years, and that's a bunch. But we're fixing to capture a male and 2 females, and try to start the breeding program back up.
Oh, okay. So, well, I hope you have success with that. So
I do too. I mean, my dad's teams wasn't able to do it, and we're gonna try it with some new research and I hope some better doctors and all to keep them healthier.
Okay. Before I get to questions, I just want to say that I've had a lot of encounters with these things, both the Dogman and the Sasquatch, and I've seen them together that one time, the last time we saw them, and that Sasquatch kept that Dogman away from us. He was trying to get to my wife. My wife saw it. And
could
he
you
protected
share with
us.
me a little?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, sure. I fly drones, and we was out flying in the field one day. My wife saw something standing over there, and it was tall and black. I looked, and she said it looked like a Sasquatch, and I saw him for a second. I guess he was probably no more than 20 feet away from us, and he was just watching us. And my wife, I don't know what it was, just like she was in a trance, just started walking towards him. And I had to stop my drone. I had to go get her. I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "That thing was telling me to come over there." I said, "That's Sasquatch." She said, "Yeah, it was telling me to come over there." So I had to stop her. I said, well, you can't go over there. You don't know what it was doing, you know. It's never harmed us, but this Dogman started showing up, and I seen his prints. I seen where he defecated. He put his dog prints in the mud, and his handprint. He put his handprint down there for some reason. I don't know why. And he defecated right beside it. That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I'm not sure what that meant, but I said, well, that's not good. You know, that close to the house, the farmhouse, like that, you know. As a matter of fact, my friend Jeffrey, I sent him a picture. He pointed out the Dogman in the picture. I didn't see it, but he saw it. I saw the Dogman in the picture, so that was quite scary.
Yeah.
But I've seen him twice, though, Victor, the Dogman. That one time and the time before that in a cemetery not far from us. It was just sitting there. And as we went by the cemetery, come out on the road, and just stood there while I was on there. I was flying. I was scared. I didn't want the thing to get no one near me. I just stood off and he come on the road and just looked at us. It was tall. I mean, tall. And I never seen it like that before. You know, it's scary. But yeah.
Wow.
Okay. I just thought I'd let you know about that before I got to the third question, because there's still nightmares about that. Talking about it now scares me. You know, I don't want them to come after me. We've been followed back to our home with the Sasquatch. They come across the road and they made a big old X thing right across the road. They tied it up in twine or whatever it is. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I should have taken a picture of that. It's weird. I said, well, they followed us home. So they know where we live. I mean, it's woods all around, so, you know.
All around your house?
Yes, sir. This place is nothing but woods all in Union County. It's just, my wife has been finding Sasquatch in the photos now. We take photos and she points them out, and their faces show up and everything.
Yep.
She spots them. She's good at that. Yeah, she started seeing us. I told her how to see them, what to look for. What to look for, the signs, the prints, everything. She started picking up on it real quick.
Yeah.
I said, this is what you look for.
Yeah.
You know. So, okay. But,
what county are you in?
It's Union County. It's in South Carolina. It's about 28 miles from Spartanburg.
Yeah.
It's a little small town, but there's a lot of woods all around, even in the city.
Yeah.
It's just woods. So these things can creep up on you if they wanted to easily. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, right here in the back of we live in an apartment complex. These things, and I know if the Sasquatch can come across, well, the Dogman can easily do it too. I mean, no problem. You know?
That's right.
That's right. Okay. All right, I've got that last question, and then we'll fix time here. So, this concerns the werewolves. This is kind of a silly question, but the werewolves, are they capable of transforming? You know, like they turn to a human, or they just stay werewolf? You know?
No, they're werewolf all the time.
Werewolf all the time. Okay.
Yeah, they are. They're werewolf all the time.
And they have a very short tail, right? Like you said.
They don't have a tail.
They don't have a tail. Okay. All right.
None at all. And,
None at all. Okay.
They don't have any tail at all. They just take a man, make him hairy, square up his face a little, put some, the ears on the sides. They're pointed, or like kind of like a Vulcan's ears are pointed, on the spot. And, like that.
I appreciate it. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because that,
I'm pulling that
yeah, okay. I do appreciate all that. I like to talk to you again sometime if I ever get a chance. I can tell you so much more on a lot of the things that's happened to me.
Well, we got a couple more minutes, so I'm going to tell you a couple of things.
All right.
I'm looking at your county. You've got 11 dogmen in your county right now.
11? Wow.
And 2 werewolves.
And 2 werewolves. Oh, my goodness.
Yep. And that ain't bad.
That's not too bad. I mean, 11 is a lot easier than I thought.
That's probably, yeah, it's on average. That's an average, just about.
Wow.
Anywhere there's heavy woods, they use it for traffic, like a passageway. That could change tomorrow. That there could be 2 dogmen tomorrow and 11 werewolves. I mean,
oh wow.
It could be terrible. They passing, going different directions, trying to find food or something. Not set up.
Wow.
They're, like I said, they're nomadic. You got to remember that.
Okay.
So,
wow.
When one sets up for territorial, you'll see less and less of them. And that tells me that that's probably a passageway for the dogmen. And the 2 werewolves that set up, that's a good possibility. That's 2 males and it's got females with him. And they're probably territorial and got set up. And there probably won't be no more male werewolves in that county. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. I'm just worried about one guy. He hunts on our private land up there. And I'm worried he's going to get hurt because we've seen him and he's got to have seen something as much as he's hung up there. And I'm scared he's going to shoot at one. I was like, please don't shoot these things. If you do, you're going to be in a world of trouble,
Yeah.
They come after you, no.
If they get to giving you trouble, Shane, just get in touch with Jeff.
I was worried he's going to come after me.
Yeah.
No.
Don't do nothing. Just get in touch with Jeff. Okay.
Okay. Oh, I appreciate that.
And we'll get something done.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And Shane, you said that you'd like
sir?
You said that you'd like to come back sometime and share. Well, you have an open invite, and you know how to get a hold. You know how to get a hold of me. So any day that you're free, send me a message, and we'll work out a time in a day. All right, buddy?
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
All right. Well, we're up on time, and it was wonderful having you on tonight.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Our next subscriber's call is from Hunter 1014. Hunter, how are you?
Good.
Good to have you on tonight with Victor and myself. You got a couple questions for Victor. I'm going to give you the floor with Victor, and there you go.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Victor, what would you say is your most scariest hunt you ever been on?
Most curious?
No, scariest.
Scary?
You almost, yeah.
Probably my first one. My very first hunt that I was supposed to have a trainer with me, and all of a sudden he fell sick and told me I had to carry on, and it was a werewolf.
Yeah.
And it had killed a father and 1 son.
Yeah.
And I had to go on it alone and figure it out by myself when I was still on training.
Yeah, I remember that story. That was a close call.
Yeah, that's probably after that, I seems like my nerves hardened, and it got easier after that, seems like that it's like something just clicked in me after that hunt, that things just kind of like it just smoothed out, like you can do this, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
And it just fell into place. Yeah. Yeah, it was a do or die. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
You must have nerves still to do all that stuff you do.
Well, I don't flinch anymore. But that day you can talk to a werewolf.
Right.
If you ever meet one, you can talk to them. And I gave him a choice. And he chose what he wanted. He chose death over living. And that's what I gave him.
Yeah.
But I also, if I'd have missed, I'd made a choice that I was going to die.
Right.
But that was my scariest.
I can picture that scenario being played out when you read it to us or told us on the YouTube how it went down. So, man, that was a close call right there, wasn't it? Well, no, I can't answer that question. Another question. This is kind of an odd question. I was doing curious about this, but you remember the Bigfoot that you said was in Alabama with stealing hogs?
Yeah.
And you spent days and days tracking him down to a cave?
Yeah. Yeah. All the way in the Mississippi. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just curious, what exactly, when you tracked him in that cave and you saw him face to face for the very first time and he looked at you and you looked through the crosshairs at him, what was he doing? Was he getting ready to charge you or what?
He turned on all fours. We couldn't stand up. The cave was too narrow for me to stand up in. I was down on all fours. And you picture yourself on your knees, and you can't raise all the way up.
Man.
Having to lean forward with the rifle. And I've got it against my shoulder, and I'm trying to lean up. And I can't get up high enough to put it all the way flat against my shoulder. And he leans up, and he's on all fours, something that he's comfortable at. He raises his head, and he snaps his teeth at me. And then his mouth grimaced, and then his eyes. And I know he is coming.
Does either shoot then forget about it then?
That was another one of them don't miss. But
well, that was a pretty good story because you said you spent like 7 or 8 days.
7 days tracking him.
Wow.
He was zigzag. He'd go south for 30 miles, move west a mile, and then go 30 miles north.
It's like he seemed to know you were tracking him then.
Yeah, he knowed I was after him, and he was still carrying that hog. He never did put it down.
Have you ever heard of that hairy man up in Alaska?
Yeah.
That's supposed to be another hybrid of the Bigfoot. They say he's bigger than the one down in 48.
Yeah.
You know anything about that?
Never hunted him. I've heard about it. We've never hunted him. I've heard stories from the natives up there.
Yeah.
They say he's 15 foot tall. And
they say he's very aggressive.
Yeah, very aggressive. And say that he'll steal a horse, he'll steal mules, he'll steal anything.
Well, they were saying on TV today that he's been known to get men and cut them up in pieces and throw the body out there on the bank for people to see.
Yeah, kill them and just discard their bodies where people can see them. Yeah, rip them to pieces. Yeah. our office has to follow protocol to get called out.
Right.
Well, it sucks because it's got to go through a certain DNR has to call us out. The FBI can't call us out. CIA can't call us out. The DNR is the only people that can call us out.
I think what people are doing, hunters especially, is they see this creature and they shoot it, not realizing that if they don't put him down with the first shot, he's going to kill him. And what's happened is every time they see a man, they say, well, kill him. Just kill him. They don't wait, they just go and just kill him because they know what's going to happen if the man sees them first.
Yeah.
I was just curious about one thing, though. All your hunts you've been on, is there any missions that you can speak of where you were at with the werewolves? Have you sent overseas somewhere to do a mission?
We was on a mission last month in Africa.
Yeah.
That another unit got all the credit for. Myself and four other handlers took 48 werewolves.
Someone's breathing into the phone really loud and it's messing up the recording. So if you want to take the phone away from one of your guys' mouth a little bit.
Okay, try me.
All right, you're good.
Okay. We took, myself and four handlers took 48 to Africa last month, and rescued a U.S. citizen. Came out with him.
I believe I know which one you're talking about.
And, we came out, no casualties. They suffered heavy casualties. And 288, I think, was the number. We was on the ground 38 minutes.
Damn.
And that's how much damage they can do.
When I first heard about the werewolf program, I thought that would be the ultimate military weapon right there, especially you took a team of those in Afghanistan and that took the Torbor Mountain, you clean them out.
Well, they won't let us go over there right now for some reason. But, and another thing is it's supposed to be for home defense is what it was originally designed for.
Right.
We've been taking them on missions to keep certain ones trained.
Right.
The certain ones are the alphas. And that would be the ones that would be leading the others here in the U.S. So, and they're good. Let me tell you, they're bad.
Well, that dog, man, let me ask you something. I was just curious, but just out of curiosity, but when you ever see one face to face, have you ever mentioned the name of God to see what kind of reaction he would have? Would it deter him in any way at all, or what?
I've never mentioned it. I'm a religious man.
Yeah.
I'm highly religious, but I've never mentioned it. I feel like I've got a job to do, and I know how to do that job.
Right.
With these weapons, and that's what I used to do it with.
Well, the reason why I mentioned it is because I've always figured anything that's evil will detest anything of a religious monotone, whether it's talking about God or Bible scripture or anything like that, period. I think Dogman really, not the werewolf piece, but the Dogman, I think they're from the devil myself.
Yes.
I think they're just pure evil.
Yeah. They've turned that away for sure.
It's like, in the very beginning of time, it's like God created Bigfoot. It was probably his first bipedal creature he created. And Lucifer saw it and said, well, I can beat that. So he made the Dogman. So they've been at war ever since.
Yeah.
I know it's out of the box theory right there, but no, well, for anybody else, I guess.
That could be a good theory.
I think they're just pure evil myself. I mean, I've never seen one. Hope I don't ever see one. I don't think I have the nerves to handle it the way that you do and everything.
Well, we get a lot of applications for people in the service that want to, and then they face off, and that application gets to get filed. So they don't really get to see the true thing, when it comes down to it. And right now, we don't even have anything to test them with right now. Sebastian's gone, Raphael's gone. We don't even have anything in the breeding program area to have them come up to.
We got about 30 seconds, guys.
Okay.
Do you think there's more than one species of Bigfoot out there?
I think there's different size Bigfoots. I think they're all the same. I think that they grow like Americans. We've got different genes. We grow different sizes.
I think from what I've watched over the years, I'm back in the '60s when they first talked about Bigfoot. Well, it's like there's been a Bigfoot explosion over the years. Like somebody's helped them out. Like it's like the three different species. There's like the North American species. There's the one that man tampered with, and there's the one that aliens have messed with. All of them have played with the DNA. In other words.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're past 15 minutes. I don't mean to cut you off, but we got a couple more people that are ahead or waiting. So,
okay, thank you.
Hunter 114, it was great having you on tonight. I appreciate you answering the call. And thank you for all your support, man. It really means a lot to me.
Thank you, Hunter.
Thank you.
All right, guys, tonight's final subscriber with Victor and the questions is Andy Warhol's wig. Andy, how are you?
I'm doing fine.
It's great to have you on. I appreciate it. And you're on the line with Victor, and you've got 15 minutes with Victor. Here you go.
Hey, Andy.
Well, how you doing, Victor?
I'm doing good. What you got for me?
Well, my first question would be, I've heard a lot of stuff about Bigfoot being attracted to women, and I was wondering if the government had ever done anything in the way of research with like male or female pheromones.
They did research back when my father was there, and the research back then proved that they was highly attracted to women. Highly attracted to the women. And especially when women was having their periods. More so during that time than any other time.
Okay, what about Dogman?
We've done research with them. Dogmen. I can't have female agents on account of their monthly periods. Because the dogmen smell them, and they have killed my agents. And that was the cause that they got killed because of that.
I remember hearing you say that before.
And my best female agent I ever had, she probably killed 300 dogmen in her career. And she was fixing to be pulled out and turned her back. And one got her from behind and killed her. And it was just her time of the month, and that's what caused her to get killed. And after that, they didn't hire any more women. And it's not that we, what's the word for it? Don't want to. It's a precaution. To keep them alive. And, but they have done well when we did have them. But everyone that we have had female, we've lost to a Dogman. So they're attracted to them.
Mm-hmm. What about vampires? You mentioned before that vampires are a thing. Is there any kind of quick breakdown you could give me on them?
They fall under supernatural. And they do exist. More so, they're kind of in an isolated area. Mostly in Nevada and California. It's about the only two places we ever get calls for them anymore.
Okay. Now, my last question. This has been about 50 years ago, so I don't remember it really well, but when I was a kid, I saw what I can only call an elf. This little guy was about 14 inches or so tall, and I was just wondering if your end of the operation ever had anything to do with small cryptids.
We do. We've got. We deal with fairies that's small. Don't get many calls for them because people don't consider them dangerous. We get calls on little people, what they call little people. They're about 14 to 16 inches tall, usually in the woods. We call them wood people, and they're not very. They're human-like, very fast. You probably won't see them over 10 or 12 feet when you see them because they move so quick. There's just several different sizes and shapes of them. They're like a blur going by. Different colors. We've had them described to us as blue, red, but they say they look like they say they got the body of a person. Like it's got legs and arms and a little body, little head. But some of them's described as having wings, some of them's not.
Yeah, the one that I saw it just looked like you said, like a little person.
Yeah.
Only it was kind of a wood brown color, the skin and hair and everything.
Yeah. Wow. Did it have any type of clothes, or was it just like it was all just one thing?
No, it seems like I would have remembered if it was completely naked. So I'm thinking it had some kind of a loincloth on.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how most people describe them, with a loincloth. Yeah. That's what we call the wood people. And they're probably the most common that we get a call on. That and the fairies. is the two that's the most common. But they're not, I guess I've never had anybody say that it's harmful that I can remember.
Yeah, the one that I saw didn't show any sign of aggression. We just kind of stood there and looked at each other for 20 or 30 seconds, and then it took off at a run and disappeared inside of a hollow tree.
Yeah. Well, that's oddly enough, that's how most people say they disappeared into a hollow log or a hollow tree. Yeah. We've never caught one. We've been to where they described it. You know, people took us straight to where they said they went in this tree. We've actually cut the trees open, tore down the trees, broke open the log if it was on the ground, tore into it, but we've never found anything in them. So we've never found one. So that's something we hadn't caught. So I can't say that what it is for 100%, but I'm of the opinion that it's a little person. And it's wild in the wilderness. As to what it eats and how it lives, I can't give you anything about it.
Well, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it.
What state you in?
I'm in Illinois.
What
About
county?
halfway down the state, right on the state line between of Indiana and Illinois.
What county is that?
Vermilion?
Vermilion?
Yeah.
Hang on 1 second.
Okay. Did I lose you?
Excuse me?
Ask if I lost you.
Oh, no, I'm still here.
Oh.
Victor, I got about 30 seconds of dead air. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, I thought you told me to hold on.
No, I was talking to him because you were going to tell him what the...
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh.
Yeah, I was just waiting on Victor to talk.
Yeah.
I thought he was looking for something.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I thought he told me to hold on. Andy, I was going to tell you, your county right now.
Yeah.
Now this is at this personal moment right now. You got 18 dead Dogman in your county. You got 13 werewolves in your county. That's just what I can see. So that's from the breeding program.
I'll be darned.
So you got a pretty full county right now.
I would have never thought they'd be around here. Never hear or see any sign of them.
Yep, it's a pretty full county. Now tomorrow there may not be two, but right now it's full.
because they just come and go so often.
Yeah, they're nomadic. And it may just be that they're passing through right now, because I don't see that many trying to set up at one time. Especially the werewolf numbers. That's very high for them. So, good sign some people see some activity in there.
All right, we're at the time limit right now. Andy,
okay.
It was great having you on. I appreciate you volunteering, and thank you for your support.
Thank you. You run a real nice show here.
Thank you very much. That means a lot.
I'll talk to you later.
All right, you have a great day, and
Thank
happy holidays.
All right.
Bye now.
Thanks, Victor.
Okay, thank you, Andy.
All right, guys, some great questions, great people. Like I said in the beginning, if you didn't get chosen tonight, I have a sheet of paper with a ton of numbers, and Victor and I decided that we were going to do a couple more episodes like this. So chances are you will be getting a call and or a text. If you see the area code 518 show up, that's me. All right, guys. Well, thank you and have a good night.